Welcome everybody. Let me share this stream. Give me a second, more like a minute. We're going to be just sharing, updating, and inviting, sharing with you my upcoming events this week. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let me share this. And then I'll be fully here, present. Okay. So let me stop the video and well, we give it a few minutes for people to come in as well. I'm going to do some more sharing here. I know I might, oh no, you guys are not able to see me. Never mind. So give me another minute and we'll get started. And there we go. All right. Just doing some sharing here and coming back to the video, and I will be checking the chat for anyone that is here. If you are here, you are welcome to say hi and let us know if you are here. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know how you've been feeling. It does support to know other people's experiences and other people's journeys, so that, especially so that we don't feel so alone and so out of place here. That's been a really big theme for a lot of us. That is actually really, really normal. And I just shared a post on my YouTube. I believe I shared it on Telegram and on YouTube as well. I mean, on Facebook. This will be a really big theme for all of us, or this is a really big theme for all of us that will continue to come up. The abandonment, the feeling alone, feeling like no one else is going through this, feeling like we can't really talk to anyone about this stuff. all of that is coming up to the surface for to feel at a deeper and deeper and deeper level. And I also shared, just because there's a resurfacing theme, or there's a theme resurfacing again, it doesn't mean that you didn't clear it or heal it the first time. Remember that you're an onion. Remember that everything is in layers and levels. So while the last time you went through this, you cleared it, you felt better. When it's resurfacing again, it's because you're going into another level within. You are going deeper inside of you. Okay. You're reaching new heights. And so our biggest core wounds will resurface. They will come up. They're supposed to. You're supposed to clear them deeper. You're supposed to feel them at a deeper that you never have before. So this is all really, really normal. Don't get discouraged. Don't feel like, well, actually, you're going to feel everything that you need to feel, but it is part of the process. So again, you are not alone. You are just allowing yourself to go deeper. You're allowing yourself to break freer. So you're not the only one. A lot of big themes, recurring themes have been coming up for me as well. In a deeper way, in a new way, in a way that I haven't felt before. There's so much newness as well with all of this. And so really allowing yourself to become more present. Become more present with absolutely everything that you are experiencing. Becoming more present with everything that you are feeling, sensing, seeing, because it's really, really, really important. So I also wanted to, while I wait and see if more people will show up, I also wanted to invite you guys to my clearing series. I am hosting a 4-part clearing meditation, which is part of a reprogramming series that I've been called to, or that I was guided to name, that I was guided to do. Right. And these are a little bit longer, and I'm adding some visuals. I'm adding more. I'm adding some music too, to further support us in exactly that, going deeper, feeling deeper, connecting at a deeper and deeper level, because this no longer is a choice. This is something we don't have a choice. The ego doesn't have a choice anymore. We have to continually do this. There is no other way around. There's no workaround. There's no, evading this, escaping this, running away from it anymore. We've been doing that for far too long. And at some level, we're still doing it in different, or for a lot of different reasons, but it's important to continually recognize when you are resisting, or when you're fighting, when you're not allowing yourself to go into those deeper levels within. And so doing this together, doing this as a group does support us all in becoming more present, becoming more intentional about bringing through more light. And I actually wanted to do it a little bit with you guys, just do a little connecting, reconnection, um, reconnection. Um, so let me see if I can do that. Um, for just a moment, bringing you into the space of, oops, it's photos, bringing you into a deeper connection within, bringing you into a, we'll do this one, a deeper reconnection with all that you are. So if you are here, if you're watching the recording, just allowing yourself to breathe. And I'll share some few visuals here with you. Allowing yourself to breathe into your core, into your body, into your cells. And just feeling, seeing, or sensing this beautiful light coming into you, coming into every part of your body, coming into your head, really starting to open up, opening up your mind, opening up your senses, opening up your feelings. Again, remembering that everything inside of you that is happening is supporting you. Everything is trying to merge. Everything is trying to connect you back to who you are. And in that process, you're going to be feeling a lot of things. So allowing that aspect and that energy inside of you that's always trying to think or trying to figure out or trying to make sense of all of this. I want you to just breathe. And just allow more energy to flow through you. Allowing yourself to continue to just sit and be here, fully open, fully aware, fully present with everything that is coming up for you. Letting those thoughts come up, letting those emotions come up, letting those sensations occur. And just feeling or sensing this aspect that's coming into a space where it's putting down its sword, it's putting down its armor. It is now remembering that it no longer needs to fight. It is now remembering that it's been fighting with itself all along. And just allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself the opportunity to free yourself. Breathing in through your spine, really opening up so that you can feel more supported in this process, so that you can feel in a way that supports you. It's okay to feel. You do not have to be afraid of feeling anymore. Yes, feeling was very scary, and at some level it still is. But the more that you continue to breathe and feel, the more you're going to be able to remember that the more consciously you feel, the more freeing it becomes. So breathing into your chest, breathing into your stomach, breathing into every bone. Allowing everything to melt away. The beauty about being present in this moment is that the more you are present, the more everything else shifts. The more everything shifts. The more everything that you thought was heavy, everything that you felt was heavy. Everything you felt that was a threat starts to dissolve, because the more you stay connected to this now and the more light you bring through, the more everything is able to dissolve that is not light. All this is a remembrance. It's a remembrance process. It's coming back to remembering what we forgot. It's coming back to seeing things that we somehow didn't want to see, that we somehow blocked ourselves from seeing. and feeling. It all boils down also to feeling things. Feeling the sensation, feeling the emotion, feeling our thoughts, feeling our words. We have to feel everything. Through our open mind, open body. So just opening up to your body. Really starting to communicate, asking where, what's going on, and just allow the energy to flow. The mind wants the answers right away. The mind wants the answers right here, right now. The mind wants to know everything, but it wants to know from that same level of consciousness. And the mind will never make sense of anything. This is why we open up to a new way of seeing things. We open up to a new perception. We open up to a new way. Because the way we knew and the way that we used to see things aren't working anymore. This isn't just how things are. There's so much deeper. There's so much more going on. Everything that we see outside, in the perceived outside, everything that we see in the news, we see in the media, we see in our own world and in our own reality is just the top of the iceberg. There's so much deeper inside. There's so much going on underneath. And it's so important to continually open up to that. It's so important to continually bring ourselves deeper into that space of just opening up and allowing new information to come through. So continuing to breathe and continuing to allow and continuing to just be. Be more present. I'm going to come back out here, be with you guys a little bit more. But this is just a little bit of a, sure why it says that. It's weird. A little bit of what we do in these clearing meditations. We connect more, we open up more. I bring through whatever I need to bring through, whatever visuals, whatever words, whatever frequencies come through to further open us all up so we can receive more light. This is what I've been saying this a lot. It all boils down to opening and receiving more light. Because this is what does deeper levels of the clearing, deeper levels of the cleansing, deeper levels of the reprogramming, deeper levels of the purification. This is what really truly supports you more. Your own soul, higher self light. Okay. And so allowing yourself to become more conscious of when you're blocking, when you are suffocating yourself from this light, when you are resisting this light, when you are fighting this light. Because we don't know when we do this. We don't know how much we do this. We do not know at what level we do this. And so this is all about becoming more aware of when we do this, becoming more aware that even when we think we're not doing this, we might be doing it. So everything that's happening within your physical body, everything that is happening inside of you is activating. Activating everything that is not pure, everything that isn't light, everything that is still blocking us. The more light you allow, the more light you have inside of you to do this in a way that doesn't scare you, like in a way that you're not fighting it. Part of what I see with a lot of people going through this process is that they're going through a lot of shifts and changes. But they're still deeply anchored in within the linear ego mind that just doesn't make any sense. Instead of being more anchored in the light aspect of yourself. That makes sense. So remembering that the ego distorts everything, the ego is the one that builds those limitations around your perceptions. And so it will only allow you to see certain things in a certain way, which is in a very negative, in a very limiting, in a very distorted way. And so as soon as something happens in your body that you're not used to, that doesn't fit the normality of being okay and being healthy, the ego gets triggered and it wants to do something about it. Okay. And opening yourself up to when your ego wants to do something about it, it interferes with the whole process and it resists the whole process, making it harder for your light to do everything that it is trying to do. So again, going into breathing more of your light, connecting more with your light, connecting more with your body so that you can allow your body to take over. So that you can allow your light to do exactly what it needs to do without actually having to fight you. Like, technically speaking, the light doesn't fight. The light just does what it can and it patiently waits for you to open up to it, knowing that while you're resisting and while you're fighting it, it's making it 100 times harder than it should. You're making it 100 times harder than you need to, but sometimes sometimes it does. Well, everything always serves a purpose, but sometimes we do that as part of our wake-up call, right? A lot of us choose really harsh, really difficult. We will go through just falling 100,000 times until we wake up. Because sometimes that's part of what some of us choose. Technically, we all choose it. It's just that it's different for some of us. It just depends on how. Kind of does depend on how old your soul is. Hi, welcome. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Evan. Welcome. It's nice to see you here. Welcome, welcome. How are you guys? How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? I do want to keep opening up that space um, for you guys to share whatever comes through, whatever you're guided to share. Any newness, any magic, any new realizations that you guys have been having or shifts or and you can also share some of the challenges too. Um Again, so that we can all remember that we're not alone in this process. We're not the only ones. We are not even though we might seem like it, especially in our closed circles, the more that you start to open up, the more that you start to become a little more aware and observant, the more you're actually going to start to see that a lot of people are going through a lot more than you realized, right? A lot of us, and it's a little bit easier, or I can probably say this now, but just when you start to see just everything that's happening in the world right now, everything that's being shown, everything that's, all the changes that are happening, at some level, every single person on this planet is being affected by that. Every single person is being activated by everything that is happening right now. So we are all going through massive amounts of change. Okay. It just depends on where we are in our process. Um, Well, the how we're feeling it depends on where we are in our process, is what I'm trying to say. Hi, Forrest. I've been having a sore throat, although it has gotten better. It was hard to speak when it started. This is a big thing that a lot of us are going through as well. And I've been hearing this from, you're probably like the fourth or fifth person that I know that I've heard is going through throat stuff. So it's a big collective theme. Throat is being cleared. Someone also had mentioned the neck tension. I think this was yesterday. Um, Neck is being cleared as well. And remembering that when things clear, you're going to feel, you might feel sore, you might feel pain, you might feel discomfort, you might feel the tension. When the neck starts to clear, it gets actually super, super tight. And it's a pretty interesting sensation. Um, Hi, Corey. Welcome, welcome. Yes. Can you define the ego to us from your light perspective? Mm, Seeing a few people experiencing the vertigo, the dizziness, all of this, everything is going to continue. Everything has a purpose, and everything will continue to open us up more and more and more and more and more. Um, what is the ego? So it's basically the separation. And it's so interesting because when we talk about ego, we feel like because of how we word it and how we write it as being singular, ego, sometimes it makes us, sometimes we think that it's just one when it's like a gazillion of aspects. It's a gazillion forms of different energies in different frequencies that have experienced in some way a level of separation, which is a perception of being separated from all that is. Part of what I've shared previously is when we, or because we are experiencing an experience where we have this physical, tangible body that doesn't physically feel like it's part of anything else. It doesn't physically, we're not like um physically this is separate, right? However, energetically it's not. The level of separation goes so deep within this human experience that there will always be a level of separation to feel into. Like there's always going to be that ego, the egos, I should say egos. I just actually kind of thought about that or felt that. Um, there's always going to be, this is a part of like opening up to it is realizing and recognizing that there is a higher purpose for this. It's almost like it's like saying we didn't program this reality to have this deep level of separation for nothing, kind of thing. Like opening up to this being an energy that is within us all, that yes, it's really deep, and yes, it has all of these different layers. There is This is how we break through. Like the key is in it. There's a key. This is the key that we're so afraid to go into. Like this is the aspect of ourselves that we're so afraid to go into. And yet this is where the biggest key and the biggest freedom lies and resides. It's a big one to just open up to. And in that sense of like different aspects of it, opening up to that so that you can start to feel that through that ego aspect, you're going to connect, you're going to find like the inner child. You're going to find the the rebellious teen. You're going to find the very hurt, very angry version of the inner child, of the adolescent, of the whatever baby, toddler. Like there's so many different aspects to the ego to just open up to. Like a lot of the times, I feel like we have this very set image of what the ego is. It's only this or it's only that version. And yet it's so many different, it's we have so many different, there's so many different levels of like emotional attachment and emotional heaviness with the ego, that there's going to be so many versions of our ego that we have to really open up to and start feeling deeper levels of, especially when it comes to the ego aspect that can like that can harm, the ego aspect that can harm, that can hurt, that can violate, that can be very disrespectful. It's part of it, I feel, in my personal experience also has been that's been the most challenging aspect to go into and to open up to. And yet it is the most liberating one too. I feel part of it, it's also kind of hard to like associate yourself with it because for however, whatever your persona and whatever your, the version of you in this physical world has been, we've tried so much to be seen or to portray or to be this good person, this good citizen, this good, kind, And so connecting to the version that is completely opposite of that is challenging for us. And yet it's the most liberating. Connecting to those aspects, to those really deep, angry, hurtful aspects of ourselves. It is needed now more than ever, especially because of what we're starting to see in the world right now. Because of all the turmoil, because of all the bullying and the identities that we're seeing come through leaders right now. It's going to be really, really important to start to connect to those aspects of ourselves at a deeper and deeper and deeper level. So yeah, hope that supports. That's a really big one to continue to open up to. Lisa, just really quickly, focusing on my intuition more, letting it guide me more in my life decisions. Yay. If my intuition says not to do something today, listen. Oh, that's beautiful. The conversation of ego is making me emotional right now. There's a lot of emotions. Part of the reason why we won't go into the ego is exactly because of that. Because there's so much emotion, because there's so much deep depthness and so much heaviness in that will start to open up. So just allow it. Do you see ego and soul identity as one? Interesting. There's when you say soul identity, there is the energy that I feel with that is that there's a little bit of that of ego enmeshed in that soul identity. When you feel like your soul has this particular identity and it's this particular thing, there is a level of separation. Because when I feel into the soul, the higher self soul, then we go into that level of separation too. The higher self soul, I'll just say it like that. It's everything. So it almost kind of like there's no really point in saying there's an identity because it's everything. If that makes sense. It's more open to this, well, I can be this, but I can also be this, and I'm also this. It's kind of like how we keep it simple by just, this is higher, this is a higher self. It's like the I am presence of like, it's everything. It doesn't get caught up too much in this being the identity or this being this characteristic. Yes, every single aspect will have a characteristic and will have an identity, but it's almost like it just kind of flows. It presents itself through when it needs to, as it needs to, depending on what's highest, depending on the reality, depending on the experience, depending on, all of these different factors. I'm a little behind here, but so it's just a multidimensional. Yes, it's very multidimensional. I'm not sure what you were referring to, but yes. Um, can you give us an example of that ego and inner child? Yes, too many continuous shifts and realizations to share specifically. But it really feels like I'm on the runway about to take off, and it's exciting. Oh, Evan, yay! Yes, it's been a while since we connected, and I know you've been in this trajectory of like continual shifts and continual changes and just opening up and feeling more. So that within itself feels really exciting too. Um, yeah, so ego, inner child go hand in hand. And it's interesting because it just still feels like it hasn't fully clicked. We have this perception of the inner child, and yet we haven't fully connected that the inner child is ego. Is still separation. The higher version of the inner child would be the divine child. So the divine child is the higher self version of the inner child. It's the higher aspect. The emotional, it's interesting, the emotion, the unfelt, unresolved, uncleared emotion that is still within any ego aspect or any aspect of ourselves is the ego. Because as you continually and more consciously feel into your emotions, that heaviness dissolves, allowing that aspect of yourself to ascend, allowing that aspect of yourself to reconnect back to source, no longer living in separation anymore. So when we talk about the inner child and connecting to the inner child and opening up to the inner child, this is the version of your child that is still very emotional, right? There's still a lot of traumas. There's still a lot of hurt. There's still a lot of anger. There's still a lot of unresolved energies, which for the most part are emotional. And so just allowing ourselves to continually connect to this aspect within. Oh, that's a complete sentence. Continue to connect to that aspect within so that it can have, or this aspect can have the opportunity to feel at a deeper level everything that it wasn't able, it didn't know how, it wasn't allowed, or for whatever reason it did not feel everything that it needed to feel in that moment, right? Because we all are like, this is also a very deep one. And I will go into, like, recently it's been like we connect to the inner child because it's like the version of us that we kind of like remember, but also go into like inner toddler and infant. And I've been working with a lot of energetically, excuse me, a lot of like womb stuff too. Because when we were inside the womb, there's so much also that occurred, that we heard, that got transferred. And so allowing yourself to go deeper into these aspects of yourself that we have very little recollection and very little memories of. um, so that we can continually reintegrate those aspects so that they can become higher self child. We call it divine child, but higher self infant, higher self toddler, higher self, um, higher self baby. Part of what I feel now, and part of I feel like I've been sharing a little bit more about this. It's going deeper into stuff that we don't know, like going deeper into the subconscious, going deeper into, well, going deeper into deeper and deeper and deeper levels that we have no connection, that we have no, it's like, this is where, this is what's required in order to clear deeper levels of separation. Going into areas that you don't even know exist, that you've been so far removed from, that you've been so separated from, that you have absolutely nothing, almost nothing that can connect you to that. The only thing that you can connect you to that is your light, which is part of the reason why it's so actively reminding everyone, breathe more, feel, see, sense this light more and more and more, because this is what can connect you to deeper levels of self, deeper levels of subconscious. And this isn't about, going in there and seeing everything. Like, we're not, when your higher self will know exactly what you're ready for. A part of the reason why we resist this so much is because we automatically kind of have this perception of, oh my God, what am I going to see? Or it's going to be too much. However, I want to kind of soften this for you a little bit. The more light you hold, the more the light does for you without you having a lot of conscious awareness of, which also prepares you. You need to anchor more light and integrate more light inside of you in order for you to be able to see more consciously what is, or what has been held deep in your subconscious, deep in those really dark, 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 deep, deep, dark tunnels, dark, darker parts of ourselves. It's a process. We're in the preparation process right now. And so allowing yourself to invite and allow more light to come deeper into your body will prepare you even more. It's preparing us for also what's to come, for all the changes that are going to continue to occur, for all the collapses that we will continue to see in the world, all of these different things, right? Have we created an enemy in the ego to such a degree that it never wants to work with us, such as never having cohesion or equanimity? um, yeah, I mean, when you say how we created an enemy, we've created many, 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 many. But I feel like that's part of the distortion, like the perception of separation that we've allowed. Um, the resistance towards our ego, towards our separation, and the fight with the ego. Because when we talk about fight, this is ego versus ego. Okay, there's a lot of talk about light versus dark. Okay, the light does not fight. It's dark versus dark. It's ego versus ego. And this has been the case for forever. The light's just waiting the light is waiting in a sense for ego to start seeing itself. It's like the ego has so many masks. And so because we've been fighting with an aspect that has a mask, we haven't truly seen that underneath the mask, it's us, right? Underneath the mask, it's another layer of ego. And so this is a cool visual to start opening up to, like allowing yourself to start unmasking, really uncovering all of that which you are afraid of. Starting to unmask yourself. This is how it starts. You unmask yourself, you take off your mask, and then that version that you've been fighting with starts to unmask too. And that's when you start to realize, oh, it's been me all along. You're welcome. If it's us as source expression, when do we bring it to the same page and adore all that we are? When do we do this? When does this happen? When do I there's, simply put, let me bring it down to like basic. When we allow our light to do this for us. Part of why we've been complicating this whole process all along is because of the level of separation that we reside in, that we think that we as only the mind, only the separation, only the human aspect has to do this, when it was never programmed like that. Right? It's like this huge burden that we put on ourselves. It's like this, oh my God, I have to do this. I have to figure this out. I have to do it all alone. When, as we continue to open up and relax, right, allow more light in, this is when we give permission to our light to start doing this for us. This is when we start to like take ourselves out of the driver's seat and say, this is the giving up. This is the, you know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm going to get out of my way. I'm going to get out of my own way. And I'm going to allow this light, this higher version of me, to do this. Right? Allowing yourself to connect deeper with the light that allows you to relax, that allows you to dissolve, that allows you to just melt back into light, so that again the light can do this for us. The light is meant to do all of this for us. We just don't remember. And we keep trying to prove that we can, trying to do this, trying to figure everything out. And that's it's part of what I'm feeling is like this ego wanting to get rewarded. The ego wants the recognition. The ego wants to win. The ego wants to prove something. The ego wants to be accepted. As we continue to allow more light and connect more to the light is what allows, like the light is who accepts the ego. Part of the reason why we feel like, oh my God, I can't accept this, or I can't do this, or, I haven't been able to really forgive or myself or whatever the case may be, is because we're trying to do it as an ego. So the ego can't do this. It's not programmed to do it, period. Right? The ego is not meant to figure this all out. The ego is not the ego doesn't know fully how to do this, which is why it keeps in this loop of just trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. And so allowing yourself to continually connect deeper levels with your light so that your light can come through at deeper and deeper levels and do this. And the biggest thing that I want to say this is, don't try to figure this out. Don't try to comprehend any of this. It's like breathing. You don't sit here trying to figure out, well, how does a body breathe? And what exactly is going on? How, like, we don't sit here and say, how do you breathe? How do I breathe? We just do. Because it's a part of ourselves that's deeply connected, at some level, deeply connected to the body, that we just allow the body to do it. So let that same understanding be how we do this. And all you have to do is consciously breathe to allow it. All you have to do is consciously connect to your light and breathe it in. Your body is already doing this. Your body is already in deep in this process. The body is doing everything it can through the light so that we can live it from a different space. Continually asking yourself, how much am I resisting? Where in my body am I fighting this process? Where am I fighting my inner child? Where am I fighting, with other versions of myself? This is a really, 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 really important, big, big, deep theme, because part of the collapses that we're going to continually see is going to be through this energy, right? We feel like at some level we believe that the system's outside of ourselves, and we feel like we have to do something physically against this old system to create change, when in reality the system is inside of us and we've been in this inner battle all along. We've been fighting inside all along. And so allowing yourself the opportunity to see this in a bigger way, from a different angle, through your light, and really starting to feel that every change that we need will only happen through us, will only take place as more changes happen inside of us. The more that you really anchor that, the more your light reprograms you to really feel and remember that, the more you're going to allow absolutely everything that's happening inside of your body. Because this is where real change starts. This is where real change begins. And this is how it expands and it grows and it starts to materialize. It's an inner to outer, right? It's an inward, outward. And just realizing, there's a lot of aspects inside that are still afraid of this change. We're so afraid. We're so terrified. We're traumatized by different levels of change that have occurred throughout our existence, that have been perceived by the mind, and that have been very emotionally, that haven't been emotionally resolved. But allowing yourself to sit with your breath and knowing that every inhale you change. Every time you exhale, you change. And just sitting with that level of change, where it's like, oh, okay, this isn't scary. It's not scary anymore. Okay, I'm just sitting here. I'm just breathing. I'm allowing change. When you consciously breathe, you're already allowing this change. You are already opening up to change, which is why becoming more conscious of your breath is so important. And it's so simple too. Just breathing in that light, breathing in your soul, and allowing just everything else to take form, everything else to be released, everything else to be cleared. It's almost like comical. It's like it is so simple, yet it's the biggest thing we resist. But it's as easy. It is easy to forget, but it's just as easy to remember through your breath. Because it's so easy to forget. I can just go around, go about my day, and my body will continue to breathe. So it's so easy to forget. But as soon as you have that realization and as soon as you come back into that consciousness, it's easy to remember, oh, my breath. Let me listen to my breath. Right? Let me be with my breath. Let me be with my light. And I mean, we can just do this. This is part of the reason why, and by the way, at the beginning I mentioned, I'll be doing a clearing meditation. I'm doing a clearing meditation series this week. I have 3 more to go. I will be doing it in a couple of hours actually, and then tomorrow and then Sunday. And in this, meditation, there's a lot of conscious breathing that I guide you through, along with all other things, other visuals, other frequencies that I bring through. And allowing yourself to be in the space, allowing yourself to be more conscious, more open about your breathing or towards your breathing will allow you to relax deeper into the process. And the more you relax, the more open your body becomes. And the more open your body becomes, the more light that can come through and can work through you to do absolutely everything that you've been trying to do for so long. We've been complicating this for too long. And it's just a matter of you opening up a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more to realize, my light is here to support me. My light is here to assist me. My light is here to do all that I've been trying to do. I don't need to go into know every single detail. I don't need to know every single, I don't have to have every bit of information because technically you're not going to. Okay. Your ego is not meant to have all this information yet. It's more about allowing your ego to further dissolve, allowing the light to clear all the separation so that you can embody more of your light and so that you can bring through more information as light. So, just breathe. Just breathe this information. Just breathe this energy, your energy into you. And I'm probably going to be wrapping it up here soon. Thank you, Forrest. Thank you, Corey. Thank you as well for all that you are. And everyone that's here. If I didn't get to say hi, hi. Well, it's Lisa and Evan. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so open. And thank you for continuing to, just by being here, you're already open. And then we take it a bit further. Like, okay, take it back to your breath. Opening up to your breath. Listening more to your breath, consciously breathing more, and consciously connecting more to your light. This all becomes about being more fully in your body, which we never have been, which we've never wanted to, which we've been so scared to. Okay. As you continue to anchor deeper within your body, you're going to feel more at ease. As you start to feel more at ease, more relaxed, and more open, more things will be revealed. And yes, more emotions are going to come up, more thoughts are going to come up, more of everything is going to come up. But the biggest key is for you to continually be in that space of peace inside of you so that you can continually open, so that you can continually have the necessary tool and enough light for you to see more things and feel more things too. So I'll be coming back in about less than an hour and a half. I'll be hosting today's clearing meditation. I will put the link in the description for anybody that would like to learn more. I don't have it here. Okay, let me bring this up. Just read it, feel into it. If it's something that you would like to do with us together, or if you would like to just even, listen to the, do the replays as well, you're more than welcome to. So I'm just going to put it here in the chat. And yeah, you're welcome. Thank you as well for being here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being your light as well. Sending you a huge wave of light and a huge wave of peace and support. Remember that you're not alone. Remember that you are much supported than you once thought or once believed. And all you have to do is breathe it in. So thank you. I love you all. I'll come back again soon. And until next time, bye.